we're in 2021 now. This is the 30th anniversary of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. So what I'm going to be doing is, for one night in a month, one Saturday a month, I'm going to be playing at least one Sonic game on this stream, feasible to completion depending on how long the ones I pick are. But we're going to kick that off tonight. We're going to start with Sonic CD for the Sega CD, which I am playing on my actual Sega CD system. You can see this because I'm in the save game screen. This is actually the first game in the series to have a save feature, beating Sonic 3 to the punch by a year. You can also see over there I have saves for Slam City with Scottie Pippen. That's a game I probably should show off just for the hell of it whenever I decide I want to show it. But I just want to show that because, again, just to show that we're using the actual hardware, and we're going to get into this game, again, for the first night of what I'm going to be calling Super Sonic Game Saturday. As I said, once a month, we're going to be playing a Sonic game of some sort. Good, bad, well-known, not well-known. It's going to run the gamut, and it's going to be a fun little project for the rest of this year. So with that, we're going to get started. I'm going to quit out of the save screen. But there is one thing I do want to show off before we get started. Alright, so we're at the title screen. We're hearing this great music, which we're going to be hearing more of. But I'm going into the visual mode. This is something you unlock when you complete the game entirely. I'm starting a new file, by the way. But since I already have everything unlocked, I have all of the extras, including visual mode, which shows the opening cutscene. I think we should watch this. So I'm going to show it off, and to make sure that my potential singing to this kick-ass song, Sonic Boom, doesn't come through, I'm probably going to mute the mic on this. So let's watch this opening cutscene to show the FMV stylings of the Sega CD, which I am playing off of the actual hardware. And I'll be back in just a minute. And with that, I'm back. And yeah, as you saw there, that is the opening cinematic of this game, full motion cartoon cinematic. This was the first Sonic game on a CD, and Sega wanted you to know it. So with that preamble done and that cutscene, we're going to start the game proper. Let's go to new game. All right, there we are. Palm Tree Panic Zone Act 1. Yeah, the load times are actually a little long, and I guess that's one thing I may as well get into, because we're seeing kind of a typical Sonic stage as far as, you know, green grass and everything, and a really great music score. But one thing to bring up is that this is a Sega CD game. It got ported later to other platforms, particularly the PC, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3, as well as mobile platforms. And honestly, those last four, PS3, Xbox 360, PC, and, okay, PC. Oh, actually, there are two versions on PC. There's one in the 90s, and the remake in 2011. I'm stopping for a second just to mention that, because A, I'm going to quickly just say, we'll get into that a little more, but those games are better. But I also want to showcase another thing, because this plays and looks a lot like the other Sonic games on Genesis, but we have a little something different here. We have time travel, these past and future signs. You select these. We're going to do future first. If you have that little icon at the bottom of the screen, you get your speed up and you hold it for a long enough time. Well, okay, you'll see those stars go about. Okay, and I screwed it up. Unfortunately, I was trying to dash through that, because you have to keep that speed going at a rapid enough pace, and then you'll do a time warp, which I need to do, actually. I'll do the past instead. Because actually, there's never really any reason to go to the future, because I'll explain that in just a second. Let's see, I just gotta try and find a good place to do this. Basically, you want it anywhere where there's springs, like this, where you can just keep going backwards. This is a new move you can use called the Super Peel Out. You press up and the jump button, and hear this grinding going, and there you go. So this should allow me to keep my stars going for the time travel long enough, and there we go. And when that happens, you go to the past or future if you have that sign of the level. And the reason you want to do that is because the story of this game is a little bit different than normal. I mean, Sonic is going after Dr. Robotnik again, but we're not on South Island anymore. We're not trying to find even the Chaos Emeralds in this one. We're going after the Time Stones because he's grabbed this planet called Little Planet. We saw that in the opening cutscene, and basically put a tie down on it so that it would have control over it. And he also kidnapped Amy Rose, the admirer of Sonic's. We might see in just a second, but... Okay, yeah, I did that on purpose because I'm standing on a robot making machine. You run into these in the past, you break it, and that makes a good future for that stage. I'm going a little bit quick on this, but... Well, fitting for Sonic, but... That's kind of what you have to do in order to get the good ending, or it's part of what you can do. You have a couple options, actually, in this game. Because again, you can play it like any normal Sonic, just running around and all that, like I'm doing. You can also find this hologram of Metal Sonic, we'll see a bit later. You break this, it doesn't really do anything though, unlike the robot making machine. I'm gonna see if I can't go to the future. Again, I'm just really showing... Oh, okay, I lost the power for that. And you can also see this game does slow down a lot, which is why I was also saying why... This is one of those cases where, as much of a retro game fan as I am, I wouldn't necessarily recommend you play this game on the original hardware unless you're really a collector. For one, it's jumped up in price. This original game runs for about $50 now, even loose. And the downloadable version is $5 and fixes everything with it. Frame rates, some of the physics, and so on and so forth. But, as I said, I'll get more into that as I go along. I was trying to go back to use the future, because when you're in the past and you go to the future, that takes you to the present. And when you're in the present, you can go to the future. But by destroying that robot making machine, I ensured a good future for this stage, which means that I can go to the future and it will be positive and all bright and colorful without robots around. Whereas if I go there without it, there's going to be like a lot of technological things and basically showing that Robotnik took over. Now, the other thing I'm doing and why I'm taking so long to get through the stage, honestly, is because I want to have 50 rings for the end of the level. There we go. So I have more than enough now. Since I destroyed the robot machine and all of the enemies are gone, I can just run to the end, no problem. Because there are actually two ways to get the good ending in this game. You can do either way. I'm going to try sort of showing off both at the same time. Now, the one way to do it is to make a good future in every stage, like I just did, by collecting and destroying that robot making machine. You have to do that for every Act 1 and Act 2. The other thing you can do is collect 50 rings at the end of the stage, jump through the ring at the end of it, and we go to the special stage, which is very Mario Kart inspired, and it is choppy as hell, but the idea is, ooh, yeah, they make this 60 FPS on 360, PS3, iPhone, and Android. So that's why you also want to have that version. But the point of this is to run around, destroy these UFOs. If I destroy all 6 of them, I get a, not Chaos Emerald, but Time Stone. And all 7 of those will ensure me the good ending. I'm going to go this way just because if I happen to miss a robot making machine somewhere, I just want to at least have a safety net. But with that, I destroyed all the UFOs, and I got my first Time Stone. It looks like a Chaos Emerald, but trust me, it's not. And collecting all 7 of these will not give you Supersonic. And that's an interesting little distinction, because this game was in development at the same time Sonic 2 was. But, again, Sonic 2 came out first, and there are a lot of ideas that were going to be used in Sonic 2 from this game they decided to put into this separate game itself, including how the spin dash works, because press down... There you go, I'm into just a normal ball, but the thing is, you have to keep holding the D-pad to do this, and you can't rev it up by pressing the button like you could in Sonic 2. So you have to rev it up first and make that dash, which is kind of weird the way it works, and it doesn't necessarily feel as good as it did in Sonic 2. And that also is another point to the re-release from 2011, because they give you an option to use the Sonic 2 spin dash method in it, so that's another reason why it's good, or why it's better. I mean, this is still a great game no matter how you play it, but because of the technical aspects of this on Sega CD, this is for collectors only. I mean, I am a collector, so that's why I have it. And again, I have a Sega CD as well, which those units are becoming much more expensive to find and aren't always the most reliable things. Specifically for setting this stream up tonight, I had to actually keep my Sega CD on for about an hour and a half because, or I decided to do that because I didn't want to run a risk of me not being able to load the game because the CD decided not to load the disc. I actually had to cancel one stream I had actually last year because of that. Kind of at the end, it was like a last-minute situation. I was going to do it, but I had to quickly do that, so I want to make sure I was going to be okay to showcase this one. Also, I need to find another pass sign. Okay, there we go. Sounds like getting into the past or going to the future is kind of hard in some ways, because you got to keep that string of stars going long enough and not hit anything to stop it. And again, because of the way the physics in this game are designed, it's not always easy to do that. The 2011 re-release makes it a lot easier because they totally rebuilt that game from the ground up. It was actually the people who went on to make Sonic Mania who made that game. And okay, there's the Robotnik machine, but I guess just to go into that quickly with the re-release of this, is that it was actually a project by Christian Whitehead, who went on to make Sonic Mania, and the idea was that he wanted to do a tech demo of showing, can I get Sonic CD running natively on the iPhone? And he decided to show this off as a proof of concept. I think he showed it off at the Consumer Electronics Show in 2010, and Sega caught wind of it, but instead of them cease and desisting it like sometimes they'll do, or like Nintendo will always do, they said, you know, this is amazing, we need you to make this port for us and release it. And they did. And it was terrific, and it is the best version of the game. So I thought that was kind of an interesting situation, and with that port, they just improved everything. The frame rate, the physics, the music in the sense that you have both soundtracks for this game available. See, I'm playing the US version, so I have the US soundtrack that was done by Spencer Nielsen, who worked at Sega and did the soundtracks for stuff like, well, Sega CD games like the Echo the Dolphin games, at least the two on CD at least, and some other stuff. And they completely redesigned the music for the US release, except for when you go into the past. The past themes are from the original game, from Japan, but everything else they changed. And I don't know why that necessarily was, although I do think there might be some licensing reasons for that, given some of the theme songs from the Japanese version. But I like what they came up with as far as the songs in this game. And again, this is the one I grew up with, well, sort of. I mean, I grew up with this mostly on the PC, with the Expert Software PC CD-ROM release from 1997. But I did rent and play this on Sega CD, and years later when I got the system, it was one of the first things I picked up for it. Because obviously I'm a Sonic fan, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this once-a-month look at the franchise. I think that's going to be a fun thing this year, honestly. Looking at this series at different points in time, different systems, different styles of games, even some that might not have Sonic in them. But are connected to the franchise somehow. Alright, and since I did get the good future on Act 1 and Act 2, I'm in a good future in the third act, because you're always in the future when you go to the third act. And in the third act, you fight Robotnik in a machine. Now, I'm going to show this one off legitimately. Usually you can just stand to the right of him and jump and kill him quickly. But I'm going to show it off this way, where usually the idea is that he'll have these spring things on the spike walker, and you have to jump into him. Not many times, though. You only have to hit him 3 times, and most of the bosses in this game actually are not the usual, oh, hit him 8 times like we did on Genesis. They're just kind of like little weird gimmicky things, but they're kind of interesting as far as how the stages work. And they all end with you crashing this and making the flowers grow. With that, Palm Tree Panic is done, and our next zone is going to be, when it loads, the Collision Chaos Zone, and this is where we're going to get our first view of, let's see, where's Amy Rose. Oh, okay, well, technically we get our first view of her in an earlier stage. Actually, first I'm going to grab the shield here. Now, the instruction manual in the US referred to as Princess Sally, I guess because this was at the time the Sonic Saturday morning series on ABC was airing, so I guess the US localizers wanted to connect it that way. But then the Archie comics then referred to this Amy Rose character in the Sonic CD issue they had, and a lot of people, including myself, initially were confused, like, who's this Amy Rose character? But nope, turned out that's who it really is. It's a new character here. She's hopelessly in love with Sonic. But Metal Sonic kidnaps her, and we gotta give chase. We'll see him a lot later, though. The whole point of this is to save Little Planet, but also to save Amy. Get the speed shoes. Again, it plays a lot like the other Sonic games, 1 and 2 in particular, but with some differences. And again, you do have this pretty awesome piece of music. I think this is... Yeah, I think this was the first game in the series to have a separate Speed Shoes theme. And fun fact, this is actually the cell phone ringtone of mine. I do love this game that much. Oh, I went to the future. I kind of didn't want to do that. But at least I could show you what bad future looks like. Because until I either get all the time stones or destroy the robot making machine in the past in this stage, we're going to be in bad future territory. It certainly looks nice, or looks nice in the sense of, ooh, wow, look at all these grays and oranges, or kind of like dirty browns going on, I guess to showcase the fact that, yeah, Robotnik took this place over. But, again, it's not going to be good for us if we keep it this way, so I need to find a pass sign. Also enjoying the idea that I'm kind of flying around this stage, bouncing with a lot of pinball aspects, which again is something that you'll see a lot in Sonic games anyway. I think there's a pass sign. Yeah, up here. Here we go. Alright, now I gotta find somewhere it's gonna be reliable for me to travel. I think right here. You can sometimes find, like, flat land to run across. But you can find an area with a spring and let you go back and forth like that, or between two springs. You want to use that, so you can make the transformation, or the time travel, a lot easier. Alright, so now we're back in the past, and with that, I need to go to the past again, and I can use this, actually, to do that. Because the robot making machine is always going to be in the past. Also, as I mentioned before, the Japanese music of the past, or the music in the past is all from the Japanese version. They didn't change it, whereas all the music for the present, the good future, and the bad future are of the US tracks, which are different. Actually, this is pretty close to where the robot making machine is. It's over to the left. Make a jump, like, over here, and... Okay, there's a Badnik I can bounce on, and boom. Okay, so that's that one done. And I have enough rings to get the special stage, so hopefully I can hold on to them. I mean, another thing to keep in mind, when you break the robot making machine, all of the enemies in the stage are defeated. Okay, except for... Okay, that's not an enemy. That's the hologram of Metal Sonic. But all the enemies are defeated when you do that, and you see all the animals jumping around. The other thing is about that, though, is that there's still stage hazards that can hurt you, so I still want to be a little bit careful. Enjoy that slowdown. Yeah, the Genesis was known for not having a whole lot of it, as far as the way the system was set up, and the Sonic games in general, but the Sega CD admittingly kind of kicked that out the window while trying to showcase off the technology. But, I mean, it was ambitious what they were trying to show off, so I can't really fault them for that. And honestly, this isn't the most severe that we're going to see when it comes to, I guess, Genesis add-ons in Sonic games slowing down, which we'll see at some other point. But it is kind of a shock to the system to come back to this, especially because I'd recently been playing the 2011 remake. I have it on 360 and I have it on my phone, where it's great both ways. So to come back to it as choppy as this is kind of something that is a little bit of an adjustment. But I played this game enough, so hitting these UFOs shouldn't be a problem. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that, yeah, if you hit the water, your time goes down by 10. You also want to avoid some of the some of the little tiles on the ground. Like, let me see if I can show... Oh, okay, there's some you can kind of hit, like those dash panels. They'll dash you in certain directions, as will those. The ones you want to hit, though, also are the fans, which will propel you up in the air, which can sometimes make it easier to hit the UFOs, and sometimes will dive to the left or right when you go after them. But since I'm on the third one, it's going to be pretty easy. The last couple, though, are going to get really difficult. And there's other things I can go into as we go along. I can kind of go in a mile a minute with this game, and with these special stages, again, fitting for Sonic, but also because of the fact that we're kind of early into the game. Alright, Collision Chaos Act 2, And here, we're going to be introduced to a couple of things. Actually, I guess a couple aspects of the stages, not that. Where you jump in that and you get a couple points, or I just jump on that and get killed by the badniks. Alright, yeah, that's the benefit of getting rings, because like every Sonic game, you have to have rings, otherwise you'll die if you hit an enemy. Let's go down here and hit these little... Yeah, these little glass balls. Which make this kind of piercing crashing noise, which, weirdly enough, was changed for every other release of this game. The Sega CD version is the only version of the game that has this crashing noise. It's kind of more subdued in every other release. The initial PC version, the 2011 version, the one on the GameCube, which is ported from the 90s PC release. I probably should have mentioned that too. This is in Sonic Gems Collection for the GameCube, but again, this is based on the PC version as opposed to this one, which admittedly is a better game because of its shorter loading, and also because of its better frame rate. But still, even though I've been complaining a lot, so it sounds as far as some of those technical things, this is still a great game, and it definitely has a different kind of otherworldly feel to other Sonic games, especially for when this came out, and when the franchise was pretty new at the time. So in that way, I do really like it. And actually, up there, I believe, is the robot making machine. Or maybe not. I mean, that's the idea as far as the robot making machines. It gives you more of an incentive to explore the levels than some of the other Sonic games might. But at the same time, it's also something that you need to basically be perfect when you do it. Because if I miss, like for example, I'm getting all of these anyway, or trying to. But if I miss one, and I don't get all the time stones, I don't get the good ending. So if you're going to go this way, you have to be perfect with it. Or you can get the time stones. But that's also why I'm doing that as I go along. Or trying to anyway, but so far so good. Alright. Oh yeah, right, I can jump over the wall there. Actually, again, going back to that 2011 remake again, or re-release I should say, you can actually play as Tails in that version. So you can actually kind of explore the levels in ways that they didn't necessarily intend for you to in this release. But even for that version, they actually were thinking, the people who made it were thinking of things to keep you from completely breaking it. Even though they rebuilt this in a totally different engine. Alright, so here's the goal. There's also a goal right above this, but I'm just going to the one on the bottom. It doesn't really make much of a difference here, but I think there's an achievement in the recent re-release, the semi-recent, 10 years now for that, where if you hit the top exit, you get an achievement for it. Alright, Special Stage 4. And you definitely get a nice sense of what Little Planet is looking like in the background, like with that, like, futuristic sky city thing on the hill going. But again, I don't care right now because I'm destroying the UFOs. And actually, one other thing to keep in mind on the UFOs, you're seeing that some of them have, like, either gray or yellow outlines like that. Depending on which ones you destroy, they'll give you different, I guess, power-ups, if you will. The yellow ones will give you 10, or will give you rings, and that will multiply if you pick up multiple, or you destroy multiple UFOs in succession. The gray ones will give you speed shoes, so that you run faster for a while. And for some of these special stages, we're going to need those speed shoes. So you sometimes want to be privy to which ones you destroy. Right now, it might not matter. Again, I just have to avoid the water, though. I also hope I don't run out of time. Oh, that was close. I almost hit the chopper panels, where you hit those, you'll lose rings. Alright. Alright, we have 20 seconds left. If you heard that noise, when you have 20 seconds left, it'll populate this... Yeah, it'll populate that blue UFO on the map. And if you get that in time before I run out of time, and I hope I can do it, there you go. You get 30 seconds added to the timer. You can keep doing that, because that UFO keeps appearing every time you hit 20 seconds. And there's going to be a couple of these special stages. I'm going to be exploiting the ever-living hell out of that. Especially since, unlike the other UFOs, the ones you need to destroy for this, those intentionally move slowly so you can feasibly get them and... Whoa, that was close! Alright, yeah, that was close too. Actually need to be careful and actually get the rest of these UFOs. But again, sometimes they'll divert at the last second. But as you're seeing, I'm just letting the clock go down to 20. I'm just going to get that one that's going to be guaranteed time. The blue ones always give you time, but they'll only appear when you have 20 seconds on the clock or less. And you only get one of them. Whoa. Alright, there's the last one. If I get it... Oh, no. I got it. Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit hairy, because again, you have to watch out for the water, because every time you hit the water, you lose 10 seconds, and if you run out of time, you fail. That being said, you do have enough opportunities to get all the time stones, because you can get them on Act 1 and Act 2 of almost all the zones except for the last one. So you do have 12 chances, so that's fair enough, I would say. Alright, we're in... but you can't get them on Act 3, which is where we are, and now we have a different situation going on with Robotnik, but also some other weird things with it taking into pinball aspect. Yeah, coming down there, by the way, you can bounce on this monitor, and oftentimes that can send you up into the spikes up here. So you want to be careful rolling down. Alright, now we're in a pinball table, and woo. Yeah, this is absolutely choppy. Oh, and you don't want to hit the bottom because you'll get hit by the spikes. This is kind of a little hard because you have to aim right in the center while Robotnik's throwing bombs at you and get up top so that you can... Oh, you'll see in just a second. But as you're bouncing around, sometimes it can be a little difficult to handle. You do also get to hear more of this more menacing boss theme. And you hear, like, the laughs going on the background, the whoa, which I do love. It does make Robotnik seem a little more threatening, which is, I mean, I guess maybe a little antithetical to the series now. Alright, there we go, got it. You make that jump there, you get up there, and it gives you those platforms there, which you can just keep hitting them and complete the level. But I was saying, yeah, this boss theme is a little more menacing, which I guess, in retrospect, is not necessarily fitting for Robotnik, but... I guess by US standards at the time, we thought he was kind of menacing. I did too, to a certain extent, so fair enough. Alright, next zone is one of my favorites, actually. Especially for the music. This is titled Tempest Zone. This is the water level. I do love this for the nice bass line, the guitar work, and especially the vocals. Yeah, I just want to let that music play because this is probably my favorite piece of music in this game, or one of them at least. Alright, here's the robot making machine, but since I'm in the present, it's already, I guess, non-functional now, but I guess I gotta destroy it for good so that it can't be rebuilt by Robotnik in the future, so I gotta find a pass sign somewhere. So that means I gotta travel into the water. Just like the other Sonic games, you can't stay on the water forever unless you get an air bubble, and you're good. I gotta find where there's a pass sign. I thought there was one pretty close. Yeah, you can still do the super peel out underwater, but its effectiveness is weakened. Alright, I think I gotta go back to find that. Yeah, that's the problem you sometimes run into with this game, especially in later levels. You run into situations where there aren't a whole lot of past signs. And there are intentionally fewer of those than there are future signs. So you gotta take that into account. Alright, I'll see if I can make this jump. I wish I was playing the 2011 version only because the physics are so much better. Alright, there's the pass sign over there. But I can't make that jump back up that way. I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go back to get this. Maybe I should say screw it and just get... Well... I kind of want to show off a good future as much as I can, but if I can't do it, I mean, there's not going to be much point to try. Actually, there might be one more towards the end of the stage. But again, I have another option. Again, I can just go get the time stone. Actually, you know, I might as well, so I can show off what the bad future looks like when I'm at the end of the stage. Because honestly, I like the bad future music a little better. But I need to get air before I drown. But I did show you where the Robotnik machine is, so if you're in the past, you can get it. I just need one more ring. I think there's one more somewhere. Alright, there's 10. Perfect. Alright, so I'll just need to complete the special stage. I should be able to. I have played this game pretty recently, so I should be alright to take care of it. But by me not getting the good future on this stage, that means when we go to Act 3, it's going to be the bad future automatically. Unless I get all the time stones, but I can't get them all in this one, or in this stage or in the next stage, and... Oh, for a minute I thought the game crashed. I was really nervous there. Alright, we're in the cityscape. Kind of looks like the Sonic OVA, which I think came out after this, but it was kind of based a little on this, in the sense that Metal Sonic was involved. We'll see him later, so don't worry. Alright, I need to get myself some speed. Or I'm going to get myself some ring chains. Yeah, in this case, you get 20 rings usually when you break one, but then it doubles each time. So I get 40, and the next one will be 60, and then the next one will be 120. If I go for all of the ring UFOs first. Or, okay, never mind. That got me one... No, that's right, I think. Now, where is... There we go! 300. The reason to get rings, by the way, in the special stage is really for what they call extra players, basically as an extra life, because every time you get 50,000 points, you get an extra life. This is going a lot better than I thought it would, and it was a lot easier than I thought it would. Because now we're at the 5th one. Usually these are where they start to get a little hard. You know, don't expect that kind of skill necessarily on the last two. Alright, there we go. I did get an extra player, or life in this case, by breaking 50,000 points. Those are those fireballs from Labyrinth again, but unlike that, well, the fireballs from Labyrinth Zone in the first Sonic, but these don't hurt you, they just push you to the side, which admittedly can be more annoying when you're trying to get up to certain areas like I just was. Let's see if I can get there. Oh, he was gonna hit that Strider on the way up. Yeah, you have to be pretty much perfect getting through if you fall down. I want to go up there because there's a pass sign. I got it. Alright, up there is where I can do the time travel. Or this is where I can do it easily. Also, there's another pass sign if I somehow screw up, but I'm not going to because there's 2 springs here, just go right into them. There we go, just sit back and wait. When you get in a situation like that, you're guaranteed to have a time travel, but you're not always going to find that, so when you find it, you take it. Now, if I remember correctly, I think it was either back the way I came, or... No, I think it's up... No, it's up there. Actually, no, I don't think I can get back up there, so... It's on our way to the right. But it's up where... It's up there, so I have to get myself out of the water. Or try to, anyway. Yeah, okay, that's kind of a little bit of a trap, because that bug will be there when you come up. Alright, here it is. It's down this hill. I got it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this off. I kind of want to show off what the good future of this level, of this world looks like. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Oh, shit! Yeah, this game does slow down a lot. Actually, you know what? I think I wanted to kill me. Oh, okay, I never saw that happen before. I just got pushed into the ground. Alright. Or I can just jump out and die. Okay, now I did that for a reason, because I want to get the rings. To get the the next time stone, I should say. There are 7, not 6. So I'm going to be on my 6th when I come in to the next one. Oh. Yeah, unfortunately, we're also running into that Labyrinth Zone situation where you get to that section where you're basically going through an endless cycle unless you are able to advance somehow. Oh. Yeah, some of the collision detection of this game is really, really weird. Which is why I thank God that got fixed for the 2011 re-release. And I think even Sega knew that, yeah, Christian Whitehead and the team that he has basically made this game better in every way with that. But then again, Christian Whitehead, let's go into this, he was big into the Sonic hacking community, or basically the Sonic fan community in particular, with some of the fan projects that he'd worked on, including a proof of concept to basically run Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Game Boy Advance to basically show, again, Sega up for the port of Sonic 1 for the Game Boy Advance that they made, which is probably the worst Sonic game ever made. And if I had a copy of that, I would show it off, but I don't, so I'm not going to be able to yet. And honestly, I don't want to show that off before I show off the actual Sonic 1 game, so at some point I'll pick that up just to showcase just how horrible it is, because you got to see to believe that. You know, it might just be easier to do the time travel here, so I can get more rings. There's a future sign. Actually, I can just go up here and do it. So I can show off the good future then. I'll show that off at least since we're not going to see it for the 3rd act. Just to showcase what it looks like, and then to go back to how, you know, bad the future is when Robotnik takes over. Because that's the assumption with the future situation is, if you destroy the robot making machine, you get a good future for the stage, which looks like this. If you don't destroy it, the future's bad, and it turns into something of a hellscape from Robotnik's control, which we'll see as we go. But in the meantime, we get to enjoy more of this really good music, the nice sights, and again, just being able to kind of just climb around. And it does change the level design a little bit. Keyword a little bit, not massively. And they also, it's weird because this also results in areas that have items and things that you can't reach. And from what I understand, I don't think there is a debug code that you actually use to get to it. Oh, there we go. Actually, I've never gone down this way. I've never gone down this way in the future at all in this stage. Because usually when you're going for playing this game, you usually don't ever want to go to the future because there's nothing to do here except for just, you know, go through the level. And I need to find air and quick. Come on. Oh, that was close. Alright, where is... I had to climb that. Oh. Actually, I gotta be honest with you. I've never seen this. Then again, I don't. As I said, I don't normally go to the future at all. Okay, so I had to jump on that and take it up. And oh, or don't take it up too much, otherwise I'll get crushed. All right, so and I have 50 rings, so we're good. So we get this nice futuristic research lab for Title Tempest, which is not going to be so pleasant in the next zone, but we'll see that soon. Meantime, we got another special stage. Actually, I'm doing pretty good with these. I've gotten them perfectly so far, but that's going to start changing now. Also, we're getting psychedelic in here. Whoa, look at this. Yeah, try not to look too directly into the lights. I don't think this will be like a Caesar situation, but again, if it is, you might want to be careful on that. And this is where things are going to get hard too, because the UFOs will dive out of the way a lot quicker than they did before. So you want to use the fan panels to catch them. You want to destroy the ones that have the speed shoes when you can, and when you get down to 20 seconds, make sure you get the time UFO, and just keep doing that. Yeah, sometimes they'll just dive out of the way at the last second, like they just did. But with enough practice, I get it. Okay, that also is a spring, which you can hit, and then you'll just launch in the air. There's usually not much reason to get those, though. Come on, come on, come on. Alright, there we go. So halfway done. I mean, sometimes you can get from above these guys with the spring, but usually it's not going to do much. Alright. I got it. But I'm running down. Oh, shit. I didn't know that was an open area, because sometimes there aren't bumpers there, so you'll just run into the water. Alright, let's go to the next one. Here we go. That was close. Yeah, the hardest ones are honestly the ones in the middle, because that's usually where the most water is. Or, I mean, I guess it's water. Whatever it is, it takes time away, so I'm not going to be too picky on what it is. Then again, I guess it looks like the Mega Mac from Sonic 2. But again, since I mentioned these were in development at the same time, maybe they had that in mind. Oh, shit. Alright, yeah, unfortunately I failed. But I still have some time to get the rest of them, so I can't complain too much. These last two are really difficult, so I should be able to get them, though. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to get them now because I missed the one Robotnik machine. And again, here we are in Bad Future for Act 3, and yeah, it's much more desolate now. But I do like the music here a little better because you get those nice vocals going on with the It's really nice. It definitely has a nice 90s feel to it. Yep. Alright, so here's Robotnik. We gotta chase him. And this is a little bit different as well because we just have to hit him as we go along. And we hit him 4 times. He'll run, and he'll gain catch-up AI, and we gotta go after him. And he'll open up another area, which we'll see in just a second. Yeah, right through there. And this is where we're gonna get to the boss encounter. Where the frame rate is going to tank. Which is right here. Yeah, look at that. But this is one of the more interesting Robotnik bosses, I would say, in the entire series. Because basically what it is he has a bunch of air bubbles on him. In order to keep yourself alive, you jump up at him and swallow the air bubbles, but you have to take them out in order to get a shot at his ship. He only takes 1 hit, but the idea is you have to destroy or take out the air bubbles, but again, make sure that you do that quick enough and then kill him quick enough so you don't drown. And also wait for him to come down like that. When you take air bubbles off, he'll just put them up like that, but if you jump at him too early, he'll just do that again. So what I like to do is just let him come down to me, and in that case, hit him in between. And he's dead. I mean, admittedly, most of the boss battles in this game are pretty, I guess, unconventional as far as Robotnik bosses are concerned. Because again, you're not hitting him 8 times like you usually would. It's pretty much kind of finding out a puzzle to a certain degree, or doing something specific to get the few hits that you need to make. Hey, Electverse, how you doing? How's your Saturday going? Good to see you. Alright, I'm at Fourth Quadrant now, and I have 2 more time stones I need to get, so I gotta find a pass sign. Unfortunately, I have a future sign. Okay, I can get rid of that like that. Right, the robot making machine, by the way, is up there, but I gotta get to the pass for it. And I think there was a pass sign over to the left. I'm going and going good. Good, glad to hear it. Guess since you're just joining me, I'll let you know what's going on here. To celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Sonic franchise, I'm going to be playing a game a month in it, in what I'm calling Super Sonic Game Saturday. I take off on this. Oh, this is your favorite one, huh? What's your experiences with this one, if you don't mind my asking? Is it with the Sega CD version, or is it with one of the other releases? Because I've mentioned there's been a lot of them. I gotta be a little careful here to make it time travel. Make it this way. Oh, I had a feeling that hill was going to be the death of me. I don't want to go that way because I don't want to lose this. Maybe if we go up higher. First experience with Sonic Gems Collection. Yeah, the GameCube release. I get the sense that was... I mean, I guess that was a lot of people's first exposure to this. I guess if they didn't have Sega CD, I am playing this off of the Sega CD, so this is a native playthrough of this. But for the GameCube, yeah, and the PS2, because it was on PS2, but not in the US, and I never understood that. I never understood why Sega released the PS2 version everywhere but the US. It was in Europe, it was in Japan, but for the US, it never came out on PS2. It was GameCube only. I still remember actually buying a, Here's the thing. I like the GameCube controller to certain things, but for 2D games, that tiny D-pad doesn't do it for me, so I actually got a... What was it? It was a Joybox controller adapter to play GameCube games with the PS2 controller. I bought the GameCube version of Gems Collection so I could play it with the PS2 controller for a lot of those games, which was a good thing at the time for me, but honestly, it ended up destroying one of my PS2 pads, I think, so it kind of hurt me in the long run. But still, I was like, alright, fine. I had to come up with something to it, but now I'm in the same situation I was before. Anytime I use Gems Collection for anything, I just use the GameCube pad. Alright, here's another pass sign. I mean, really, the only difference from what I understand between it on PS2 and GameCube is just, again, the controller you're using. And in the case of the Japanese version, what extra games you got, because the Japanese version had all 3 of the Streets of Rage games and Bonanza Brothers, but they cut those out from the... Oh! I was trying to get the pass thing, but unfortunately I didn't. Yeah, but again, we didn't get the Streets of Rage games or Bonanza Brothers in the US or in Europe. We got the Vector Man games because I think Sega was concerned that... Sega said that those games would get the collection of teen rating. They said, quote, "The Streets of Rage games are not in keeping with Sonic's family-friendly status in the US." And then what happened the day after they said that? Oh right, the ESRB handed out the teen rating of Shadow the Hedgehog before they then had to re-rate it. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not fooling anyone on that. But that's neither here nor there, and I'm going to be able to make the past transformation now. But the rematch on the PS3 and PC, which I no longer own, sadly. If you still have a PS3, or PC, if you have it on Steam, on PC, or on PS3, you probably should be able to re-download it, I would think, unless you don't have the system anymore. At least I think so. And I do love those re-releases. Those are terrific. I have it myself for the 360 and for the... I also have it on the iOS... Oh, no, I have it on Android. And it's a great, great version. They basically took everything that this game had, and they basically just totally rebuilt it. And I love that. And I also love the story behind that, which I mentioned earlier, but I may as well go into it again. Oh, you don't have the systems. Okay. I was thinking if you bought them and you still had the account for what they were, you could probably just download them again. Or if you ever get into a situation for that. Actually, it's interesting you mentioned on PS3 because it's backwards compatible on Xbox, or the 360 version is backwards compatible on the Xbox One and the Series S and X. And it is on PS4 and 5 as well, although through the PlayStation Now, and I don't know how that works, or if you're entitled to it if you already bought it, or if you just need the PlayStation Now subscription for that, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. It's more of a curiosity on my part. Yeah, as you're seeing, the main difference between those other versions and this one is, yeah, the frame rate in this one's a lot more pokey. And also, there's definitely more loading. Oh, but there's the robot making machine. At least I can get that. I need to get back to getting time stones because I have 2 more I have to collect. So I gotta get 50 rings somewhere. I have PlayStation Now. Yeah, because I think I saw it on there because my girlfriend has PS4. She was wondering, I think she had a trial subscription of PlayStation Now, and she was saying, like, okay, what games are on there? And I think Sonic CD was up there, the PS3 edition, but I don't know if that's permanent or if they switched that out the way that, I guess, like Microsoft's Game Pass does. They might. But again, I'm not sure, because, again, I don't have PS3 or 4, but again, oh, right. Yeah, it's the other thing about going to the past and future. Sometimes it changes the level designs in ways that you can't get the items that are placed around places, but that does add to some of the charm, I guess. As does the music. Which I guess let's go into that then, chat. I guess, since there are 2 different soundtracks for this game, the Japanese and the US, which one do you like better? And if so, what is it that makes you like it better? I mean, I guess I would say probably the US only because I'm more familiar with it, but with that re-release, the one on PS3, 360, PC, iOS, and Android, they give you the option of both soundtracks, the US one and the Japanese one. And so I played it with the Japanese soundtrack pretty recently, actually. And I remember really liking it, as far as, like, what the aura of it was, which is definitely different from this one, but it still sounds really nice. Ooh, alright, so I just gotta be careful getting the end without dying. I'm almost at the end, though, so we should be good. I think it's almost... Yeah, we're almost there. Like the OSTs, depends on the stage. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, too, now that I think about it, because I did Title Tempest before, that was the stage I was doing before this, and I do like the US sound of that a little more than the Japanese one, but I also do really like how it sounds that way. But again, I do kind of go back and forth myself, even though I guess technically the Japanese soundtrack is the official one. Oh, right, it's taking me the 7th one because I failed the last special stage. I have 5 time stones right now, and I have 2 more left. But I forgot that this one, it takes you to the next special stage if I screw up on one of them. So now I gotta do 7. And this is not gonna be pleasant. And, again, since Chad is saying that their experience tends to be with this on Sonic Gems Collection and in the re-release, seeing it run as choppy as it does on Sega CD is probably a shock to the system, I'm gonna expect. But yeah, this is how it originally ran. Again, it was definitely pushing the tech of the Sega CD, but again, it wasn't completely up to the task. But again, going back to it and seeing like, oh yeah, this was their attempt for it, it is absolutely fascinating. In a lot of cases, whenever I do like streams like this, I will try and stick to the original version of the game if I can, or if there's not a better reason to go with a newer release. And sometimes it might be because I don't have the original. I mean, if I didn't have the original, I'd be playing it through Gems Collection or for the re-release. But since I do have the Sega CD version, I thought, well, I may as well show it off. Alright, there we go, 20 seconds. But with 20 seconds, that means we have the time UFO, so I can hit that and get 30 seconds added. I'm going to be doing this a lot. I'll expect that, yeah. Yeah, especially here. I mean, I'm trying to remember some of the times I've done this. I think I was at this special stage, this last in particular, for about, like, 15 minutes. Just continuously doing that because of the way that the UFOs just dive out of the way at the last minute. And it is it is a reliable way to keep your game going. But I could really use one of the ones that has the speed shoes in it. Yeah, that one, feasibly. Come on, come on! I got it. That'll make this a little easier, so I can at least chase these things down a little better, and when they do a diversion, or... Okay, missed them there. Okay, there we go. 3. Uh-oh. I gotta be careful. Got it. Alright. But I hit the water, but I'm still fine. Because again, he's gonna come back in just a second anyway. It's interesting, when I first played this game, and the first time I played this was when I actually rented the Sega CD back in 1994. It was a $16 rental from Blockbuster for the system, on top of the $4 for the game. So it was definitely a lot just to rent this thing. But when I did, I remember looking in the manual and seeing, yeah, add 30 seconds of the timer with some of these UFOs, and I never found it. I never understood why, but then years later I played it again and realized, oh right, it's because it's those blue ones. Alright. I am halfway there, at least. Alright, there we go. Sometimes you just kind of have to jiggle it like that. That's the one with the speed shoe over there on the right, I think. Yeah, I can't see it from here because I can't get the color off of it from this... Okay, it is. It is. Oh. The only special stage doesn't make me feel nauseous. Even seeing this version, because yeah, this is definitely a choppier one. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this though, unfortunately. Just missed it. I guess that's an interesting situation when you're saying that. Is like, is it just what? The idea that it's, I guess, some of the choppiness of some of the other games that might do it? Because it's interesting then also because, like, when they re-released this, and you'll know this if you played the, I guess, actually, technically either the GameCube release or the other one. Yeah, I know. I still have time to get it, but again, I've only got about, let's see how many times I've left. I have 4 more opportunities. I think I should be able to get it, but assuming I don't, I think I do have a save file on here. I can just play what the good ending is. Alright, here we go. So here's Robotnik Boss Battle 4. Yeah, you run on the treadmill. Insert New Year's resolution joke here, but as you do that, well, we grind him down. As I was mentioning earlier with the last level, this is an interesting game as far as played Sonic 3, felt disoriented and dizzy. Yeah, especially when the special stages got really, really fast. That's absolutely true. I can definitely understand that. And also, in my case, it's the kind of thing that, even though I grew up playing those games, going back to them years later, I don't necessarily feel like I'm always as good at, you know, handling those as I usually am. In this case, though, I am burning him up. He is done. Okay. But that is an interesting situation. It does make me wonder, had we gotten the remaster of Sonic 3 that was thought to be coming from Christian Whitehead and the people who made the Sonic CD remaster and the 1 and 2 remaster on iOS and Android, if that would have made it better, because it certainly helped this game, and it also helped Sonic 1 and 2, where I've never seen those special stages run that smoothly. But then again, for playing it, you kind of have to readjust, because you're like, oh yeah, I'm used to how it runs the old way. Alright. But here we are on Wacky Workbench, you're bouncing around. I love this track for the US release, as far as the music's concerned. But I also do like the Japanese track as well, so that's the other thing. That's future, but I gotta... Well, I guess it doesn't matter if I find the pass signs anymore, just because... I mean, as I said, I've missed enough of the robot makers that I can't get the good ending that way. So let's go to the future, because I love... You hate this. I guess because you're bouncing all over the place, probably. I mean, I'll say this, it's also, aside from situations like that, it's hard to do time travel here. It's really difficult to do that. So I can understand that being kind of a difficult thing. But I do love the music. I love the music for the bad future here. Particularly, you have this kind of like nice jazzy guitar going with the... Oh, okay, we're not going to hear that because I got the invincibility music, but we will hear it soon enough. Bonk. Well, I do love that how that the idea of jumping on those light fixtures at the bottom of the level. And this part always got me because, yeah, you have to be very specific with that jump, and there's a freezing beam up there, so you have to pretty much be invincible in order to get it, but, yeah, I'm not getting it. That being said, I did like how in Sonic Mania they actually brought aspects of this level into play for it, so that you have, like, those bouncy areas in Chemical Plant where you inject the gel into it, and then it goes... And they even had the same sound effect of bonk, which I do love that. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I was afraid I was going to get hit by the lightning in the back. I mean, that's the other thing, because, yeah, you can get the Robot Maker all you want in this level and, you know, be safe from the robots, but I get what you're saying. This is not a level where you're really having to worry about robots at all. It's just about everything else. Bouncing around, hitting lightning, hitting spikes, hitting anything, pretty much. So, I can get to that. This is actually probably my favorite part of the music here, right here. That guitar riff. I adore that guitar riff. Which I guess we get a lot more guitar riffs out of stuff like Sonic Adventure, which actually, I guess, of the games I want to do this year, because again, I'm going to do a Sonic game every month. I do want to do Sonic Adventure at some point. I'll be doing Dreamcast because that's the one I own. I definitely want to get to that one in particular. I guess there are other ones I could also do as well, but I'm curious, chat, what are some ones that you'd like to see me play? I mean, I'm playing this one, and my plan was that next month I was going to do Knuckles Chaotix, because I have that game as well. I have the 32X on top of my Genesis. My Genesis has the CD and the 32X on it, so I can play that. But if there's other Sonic games you'd like to see me do, and no limits to which ones they are. They can be the bad ones. They can be ones that nobody's heard of. I might be able to make that happen. Well, most likely will be able to make that happen because I got tons of games in this franchise. Because if I haven't made it obvious enough from me rambling like crazy on it, I do love this series. Just the speedy style and just the coolness that it exuded. And exudes still in the best games. We're back in the Special Stage 6 at the very least, so yeah. Getting some trippy visuals going here, so there's that. But it is going to be a little easier to handle than 7, so hopefully I can do it. But I am pretty close to finishing it, at least. That's one. I could feasibly go for the last one. Does that include spin-offs? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to also to mention this, I want to do Tails Adventure for Game Gear. I absolutely am going to do that one at some point as well. So yeah, absolutely. Spin-offs are totally open. I mean, technically, I guess they're open also because if I'm doing Knuckles Chaotix next month. So yeah, fire away. And again, I'm here every Saturday night at 7 p.m. to play classic games that I own and that are of interest and anything that you guys want to see. So I find it a nice kind of relaxing cap at the end of a long week. For me and hopefully for you guys watching as well. For you guys and gals in particular. And I do appreciate watching because that's kind of what I like to do as far as this. The thing I love doing more than anything, I think, when it comes to gaming is sharing with other people, whether I'm with them or whether I'm not. So that's kind of the reason I started this. Actually, a friend of mine, he does streaming, is like, yeah, why don't you do this just for fun to kind of show off your own games? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And I've kind of been doing it ever since, just about 6 or so months now. But just kind of more just as a, a relaxing thing at the end of the week. Here we go. There we go. The only two I think it was Sonic the Fighters or Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Yeah, I can do Sonic the Fighters. I Yeah, I can. Look, yeah, I can do. Actually, I do own it through Gems Collection on the GameCube. Actually, feasibly, I could also do. Let me think about that. Because I'm trying to think. Yeah, if I'm doing Sonic Fighters, you know, I thought of something. Why don't I'm thinking of, because I was like, all right, I could do it on the GameCube, but I could feasibly also do like Mean Bean Machine at the same time. Although here's the other question: what Mean Bean Machine do you want to see? Do you want to see the Genesis version, or do you want to see the Game Gear version, or do you want to see both versions? Because I'm thinking if I'm gonna like do a bunch of them, I could invest in the 360 version of Sonic Fighters, and then since I have Sonic Mega Collection Plus for the Xbox, and it's backwards compatible with the 360, I could play that at the same time, and that collection has Genesis version. Okay. Because the Genesis version is in Sonic Mega Collection Plus, and the Game Gear version's in there too. So, yeah, I could do that. I mean, I absolutely do want to show that off as well. And one game I do want to do at some point, I do want to do Sonic Mania, so I will sort of be showing off Mean Bean Machine by proxy, but I definitely would absolutely love to show off the original, and again, a puzzle game as well, so I can kind of go into that. And actually, because I guess with Sonic, is that the only... No sense doing both? I mean, I guess the only reason I would do both is just to show, alright, I probably would put most of my time into looking at the Genesis version, saying like, hey, did you know there's a Game Gear version? Here's what it looks like. And actually, there is one thing about the Game Gear version that is worth showing off that is not in the Genesis version, which is the puzzle mode. Because they give you a puzzle mode, which gives you a bunch of simple, I guess, puzzles to solve with specific blocks they drop, which is exclusive to the Game Gear version. So in that way, it might be worth showing off. It's just like, hey, take a look at this. But I get what you're saying. I mean, they are mostly the same. And in my case, that's an interesting thing about that, because Mean Bean Machine, I didn't grow up playing it. I knew it was there, but I didn't play it until years later. And then, even then, it was only in, like, collections. At that point, then I'd also played the Game Gear version. So, yeah, that's an interesting situation. I need 50 rings, though. You did, okay. It's weird, I always saw it. I always saw, like, on the back of... I saw it in video stores, I saw it on the back of the Sonic 3 manual in particular, and I always thought, hey, I'd like to play that, but for some reason, I never did. I mean, I played other games on Genesis, or puzzle games on Genesis. I played stuff like Columns and things like that, but that one I didn't. And again, going back to it, when I eventually got a copy of it, I said to myself, yeah, I kind of wish I'd played it when I was growing up, but again, I guess I kind of made up for it later on, at the very least. So there is that. I guess it's one of those things that's like better late than never, because I think that's the other thing I also want to do. Again, oh, okay, that was close. That wasn't, but thankfully you have Columns. Okay, yeah, it's funny. I run into people who don't like Columns that much, but I do have a soft spot for it. I think just because of kind of the relaxing style of it, and again, also just the idea of like the Egyptian flair of it. In fact, I recently bought Columns 2, which they released on the Switch. It was the arcade version, the one we never got. That never came home. They did a port of that for Switch, and I was having a lot of fun with it. My mom doesn't like it. Does she play games? Does she play puzzle games in particular? Or is there another one she likes? Because my mom, for example, she's huge into Tetris Attack. And I'm huge in that one as well. I adore that game, as does she. Did you get that? Yeah, that's one I should show off. Okay, I've shown Tetris Attack itself off. I haven't shown the Paneled Upon, which is actually on the Switches Online. And then also Pokemon Puzzle League. That one I need to show off. Yes, she does. Okay, so that's her take as well. I mean, I guess... And that's an interesting thing, too. I guess... It seems... Okay, I'm jumping around a lot. But again, that's the other thing I like to do, which is, again, just kind of get a conversation going with the viewers as far as what they're thinking, as far as games, with what they're watching, and other things that kind of generally connect. But I guess with puzzle games, just thinking about it now, it's like, I know people who play Tetris in particular, mostly play Tetris. Yeah, but again, like, there's some cases where it's like, they'll play certain puzzle games, but then there's other ones that they either won't like or won't be able to get into for whatever reason. And I always find that kind of fascinating. Or like, for example, I know people who love Dr. Mario, for example, which is kind of, I guess, Puyo Puyo or BB Machine kind of took out from that a little, but then it also has its own aspect of the idea that, oh yeah, you're dropping, like, garbage stuff. That's that one. Halfway done. And if I get this one, we'll be set for the good ending. But I do have 2 more chances if I screw this up. Dr. Mario. Yeah, that's another one I get the sense that a lot of people tend to really like, especially for the multiplayer aspect of it. Especially if you have the Nintendo 64 version, which has a 4-player mode, and I gotta get that time UFO and quick. Come on. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting this. Oh. Alright, well I got 2 more chances, so hopefully they'll go better. But yeah, especially like for Dr. Mario with like the 4-player mode, particularly in the N64 version, which has that. That being said, it does get me disappointed that we never got the 4-player version of Tetris Attack here. It only came out on the GameCube in Japan as part of the Nintendo Puzzle Collection, but unfortunately we never got that. And outside of was it Planet Puzzle League on the DS? That's the only 4-player variant of Tetris Attack that ever came out in the US. And it's another situation like with, I don't know if you're familiar with this one, Yoshi's Cookie. That had a 4-player mode on the Game Boy version of all things, but NES Super Nintendo never had 4-player. And the only 4-player mode, again, Nintendo Puzzle Collection on GameCube, we never got it. Maybe it's me when I play Paddle to Pawn, I find it harder than Tetris Attack. I take it you're playing it through the Super NES Online on the Switch, or just in general? Because, funny you mentioned that, when they dropped that last year, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my god, they're putting out what they can get away with putting out as far as Tetris Attack. Because licensing reasons are why they can't release the original one that we got in the US. I played it, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm using that Switch Pro controller, but it just Switch Online. Yeah, because here's the thing, I initially played it with the Pro controller, which is a great controller to play it with, but I had trouble playing it with that pad in the sense of something felt wrong. My muscle memory wasn't quite what I expected on, and that's despite the fact I played all these variances of Tetris Attack on other systems, like, as I mentioned, Pokemon Puzzle League, Planet Puzzle League, all these things, and my mom didn't like Pokemon Puzzle League for that very reason. Like, I'm so used to it with that Super Nintendo pad, I got to play it that way. In fact, because of that, I bought the Super Nintendo controllers for the Switch from Nintendo when they put those back in stock, and now it feels better. But I get what you're saying when you say it's a little harder. And now that I think about it, I guess there are some AI differences, I guess, with Tetris Attack, and between Tetris Attack and Paddle to Pawn. So maybe you have a point, whereas that one might be a little harder. But yeah, I should definitely show that one off as well. Show off, I guess, Paddle to Pawn or Pokemon Puzzle League or one of the other ones. Because I technically showed Tetris Attack off already, although I could show a different aspect of it off. But anyway, there is a Sonic game going on in the background, so I better at least mention that a little bit. We're in Stardust Speedway, which is, it's supposed to be easier. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess Pokemon Puzzle League's harder because of the extra difficulty options it gives you. So there's that aspect to it, but yeah, something. Okay. Oh, again, I think in my case, maybe it's just because of the super hard mode for the single player. I mean, especially because in that game you have to beat the final boss, and then to beat the final boss, you have to defeat Gary in that, and then you have to defeat the next boss without dying. Otherwise, you go back to Gary again. But yeah, I can see that. Oh, that was close. I don't want to waste this past situation. Oh crap! All right, I got the future there. Unfortunately, that sometimes happens. You sometimes run into the one you want. So I'm going to have to go back to the past, because I need every opportunity I can to get that time stone. Oh! We're going to enjoy the nice futuristic aspect of Stardust Speedway. And this version of the theme song, which I think is a little underrated, I guess, because a lot of people like the Japanese one, which does sound great. Alright, I'm dead, but I got enough lives. But I do love just, like, the sound of how this one is. Like, it does have a nice tension to it, in particular. Actually, they also did a really nice remix of that in, or this one in Sonic Generations, along with the Japanese one. Where is the pass sign? Where is it? Oh. That's the other thing about this level. You mentioned not liking, Wacky Workbench because of, feasibly, I guess, because of all the stuff when you're bouncing around to it, I guess. Unless there's another reason, let me know. But in this case, like, yeah, I'm bouncing all over the place. There's spiked enemies or spiked obstacles everywhere that I end up always hitting. I noticed that especially when I played Sonic Mania, because at first I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be fine with this because I played this great on the original game, but I was like, yeah, I kept doing that even in Mania. There we go, perfect. Yep, you nailed it. Yeah, I mean, it's weird also because, and I'm thinking about it, maybe playing this here with the Sega CD version, maybe it's like a placebo effect. Maybe it's a situation where, you know, because they, again, as you probably know, since you said you played the 2011 remaster of this, then you know that they totally rebuilt the engine for this. So some of the collision detection stuff I've been running into, like getting stuck on things, isn't there. So I'm almost wondering if maybe that helped it a bit, but then again, it might also come down to just whether it's a level design situation, which I think that might be part of it too, because like, yeah, there's tons of stuff you're hitting into constantly. I remember, in fact, with Sonic Mania, I remember going for that King of Speed achievement out of that, which I think, from what I understand, at least on the Xbox One version, which is where I own that, that is apparently the rare achievement in that, the one that not many people get. So I'm getting the sense that people have the same problem as far as like, oh yeah, I'm going through that, try and get through Stardust Speedway Act 2 in under a minute, or get to Metal Sonic in under a minute, and then I run into a situation where, oh, I'm just crashing into stuff. Because in a lot of ways you can't see that it's coming. I mean, which is, to be fair, is a thing with Sonic. We run with that a lot because, yo, you're going fast. Sonic is about going fast. You gotta go fast. That's what we always hear. But sometimes you just run into stuff. So sometimes it's a little weird that way. But we are hearing, and I mentioned the idea that we have the difference between the Japanese and the American soundtracks, but I mean, with the past soundtracks, they kept them the same. They didn't redo them for the US version, which was kind of weird to me, but again, I always get to hear this nice past theme for Stardust Speedway, although the best version of that is absolutely in Sonic Mania. The remix they did in Sonic Mania for the first act of that, which takes place in the past, oh my god, it's beautiful. I just adore that track so much. I remember when they announced that A, they were bringing that back for that, and B, what the music was, and hear those vocals going, that's and I was like, oh wow, this is going to be something great. And I played, I think I time over like 3 times on that stage first time I played it, just because I want to hear that track. It's so great. And it's also one of the cases I'd also say that maybe it's better than the original, as good as this track is. But I need to get out of this part, and this is always a part that gets me whenever I play Stardust Speedway, because of the different paths it looks like. Or in that case, falling through. Okay, I can just jump right through. It's always weird going through those things. It kind of gives me a little bit of a question whether that is, but I need rings. Alright, so that's good. At least every enemy is dying around me or turning to flowers. But again, that's not helping me with like the spike balls coming out of those areas, and also with finding rings. Then again, I do have 9 lives. I could feasibly... Alright, there's the, yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while, the Metal Sonic hologram, which, from what I understand, doesn't do anything. For some reason, I got it in my mind, and I had to look this up because I was not sure, that hitting more of those would cause him to malfunction more when we're in the final boss, or with the second-to-last boss battle with him, that race. But apparently it doesn't do anything. The only thing it does is actually in the 2011 version, where it gives you an achievement. Oh, no, I don't want to go that way. Uh-oh. Alright, now I'm definitely going to kill myself, because I am not going to be going through this without another section, or without another try at that special stage. Alright. And thankfully, when you die in either the past or the future, you go back to the beginning of the stage because there are no checkpoints, which is always a weird thing to me, that in the past and future there's no checkpoints, and in the present there are. I guess in the past they didn't exist because of the ancient technology, and I guess in the future because Robotnik wants to be a dick about it. Oh, yeah. Shouldn't have known that was there. Is there rings up here? Yeah, there were. Okay. I never remember where all the rings are. And honestly, I'm at a situation now that I'm usually not at, or I haven't been at in a while, which is that, oh yeah, I gotta be careful running around this so I have enough rings to get the special stage so I can actually finish this game and get the good ending. Yeah, I'm not going that way again. That being said, I just stopped there to take a look at stuff. I've never actually noticed that shimmering water. That's a nice effect. Especially going back to 93. I mean, as I said, this is the first Sonic game ever seen on a CD, and clearly Sega wanted to remind you of that, and they wanted to take advantage of everything they could do, and they definitely did. Let me think about this. Okay, I've got... Oh, well, that was weird. Okay, no, at first I thought, wait, I went through the floor and I shouldn't have, but it looks like that was intended. Alright. Invincibility perk. Nice effects. Yeah. And again, even in the Sega CD version, and it still is, even though I'm saying that it has, like, slowdown situations going on, it's still something that, it still kind of holds it pretty decently considering. Again, something that, again, Sega said with the Sega CD, welcome to the next level, and to a certain extent, they weren't lying. Oh, that was weird. Alright, I just stopped for a second, because actually, just to give a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, the way I'm doing this is I have a game capture, and I've got to connect to my laptop, where the audio's coming through, and where I'm doing a stream through on it. And so that's the interesting thing when I run into, like, something weird like I just saw there, where I just ran through the boost pad or wherever it was on the ceiling like that. I can look back and see, like, what was that? I've never seen that, but that's kind of interesting. And that's the other reason I like to do stuff like that. Why do you think the add-on flopped? I would say because... I would say probably because of the price. Well, sort of with the price. I mean, the price was $300 when it came out, which wasn't too bad, but I think the question is also whether people were going to be buying this as far as the games that were on it. And I guess that's the other thing, which is, what are other games on the Sega CD that you're familiar with and or have played? Because I don't know if maybe people didn't see that there were other games that they really wanted on this thing. Or, and here's the other weird thing about this too, because Sega had a bit of a benefit and also, I guess, a negative halfway, because remember, there was a massive controversy on the back of, there was a massive controversy on the back of this system, if you recall, on the back of Night Trap. Remember, Night Trap? Never played it. Yeah, actually, Night Trap is on the Switch. That's, I think it's it's downloadable. There was a physical release from Limited Run. And it was a full-motion video game where you're basically trying to guide a bunch of women away from having their blood sucked by a bunch of, augurs who are, like, pre-zombies. They don't have their, like, blood sucking, so they have these little, like, blood-sucking machines they put into their neck. It's like a B-movie. I mean, it stars, Sega CD itself. I would say probably maybe stuff with the software, and ironically, the controversy with Night Trap, because the thought was, Night Trap was the subject of congressional hearings on video game violence, with Mortal Kombat and Lethal Enforcers, both of which are also on Sega CD. But I guess, to answer your question, I guess in the long run, is that maybe people thought, well, alright, I have a Sega CD, I have a Sega Genesis, so why would I necessarily buy a Sega CD? And I guess also maybe some of the exclusive people didn't like, because even though I'm talking up Night Trap a lot, it is an awkward game. I mean, I have it on Switch, but it is an awkward game to play. There definitely is a learning curve for that. Yeah, I played Night Trap. I'm wondering if maybe that was it, or again, maybe the high cost of entry, or people saying like, hey, I have a Genesis, I'd rather play stuff on that. I mean, because to be fair, I didn't own a Sega CD myself until, it was, I think, 2008. I bought one used off eBay, the Model 1, but I didn't have it for a while. So I think maybe it was like a cost thing. And I guess as a kid growing up in the 90s, maybe it was the thought of like, how do you convince your parents necessarily that, oh yeah, I have a Sega Genesis, I want to buy another system that adds on to that for $300 that costs more than the original did. And maybe they're like, no, you're fine with what you have, so be okay with it. And to be fair, I mean, as far as the Sega CD is concerned, there are great things in the library. There's absolutely great games in it. There's stuff like Popful Mail, there's stuff like the two Lunar games, Night Trap, playing as a movie. I mean, I think that was the thought. with CD technology, Sega was saying, hey, the way the future is going to be, you know, playing with full motion video. And then I guess people were thinking, like, well, maybe it doesn't have a whole lot of replayability to it, so that could have been it too. But I mean, I think that's the other thing feasibly, which is, I guess the bottom line really is, I guess, the software on the system. Not that there was bad software on the system, it's just that I guess people thought, well, you may as well just play stuff on the Genesis or the Super Nintendo. I mean, I think it was really a choice between those two. And I think with that, like, there are all these other options. I think maybe it was just the idea of customers being alienated. Think like, well, all right, what do I pick? So, I mean, I think that would be why it was. But again, there are great things on the Sega CD. Great things that are not easy to get a hold of now if you're a collector because of the fact that it's such a niche situation. Again, the Lunar games cost a fortune. Powerful Mail costs a fortune. They cost a fortune. Night Trap in particular, or not Night Trap, not sorry, Saturday, I'm thinking. The game from Hideo Kojima, that game goes for a lot. KO Flying Squadron is like over $1,000 for that game. It's more than Snatcher. So, I mean, and they're all good games, but again, they didn't sell very well, and so now it's kind of hard to get them unless they do a re-release or something. But I think they failed because, again, I guess people would rather stick with Genesis, and then same with the 32X. The 32X was even worse in the sense that there weren't as many games to play, and people thought, well, all right. Also, getting that thing set up was, let me put it this way. As I mentioned, I'm doing Knuckles Chaotix next month. I have the 32X, we're going to play it. I got a story to tell about my adventures of trying to get that thing set up when I rented it. Because I wanted to play Knuckles Chaotix more than anything on that thing. That was the game I wanted to play. And unlike this thing, where when I rented this from Blockbuster, they rented the whole unit, which included, it was the Model 2 that had the Genesis attached to it. So it was like, plug in my system, put Sonic CD in, we're ready to go. But Knuckles Chaotix? Who knows? That was an experience, and I'm going to tell that story because it does have a personal connotation to me, especially because my grandfather, God rest his soul, helped me do that. And he had a business of like doing a lot of electric work, like electronic, repair work. Even he couldn't get that damn thing working. And if he couldn't get that thing working, that was a situation. Oh, and all those rings. But I gotta be honest with you, I mean, I'll say this. Even though I'm not really making much progress and just intentionally killing myself to get those 50 rings, I'm having fun just kind of, just relaxing, just talking over stuff as far as gaming. Because I do like talking about that. And there's a lot of things to go into as far as, like, the system, as far as the games I'm playing and stuff. And again, like 32X, same situation, we're going to get into that. Again, I thought, like, yeah, my grandfather couldn't figure this out. I knew it was a lost cause until years later. Then I figured it out, and I said, hey, remember that 32X we tried to set up? I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, I have it fixed now. I have a unit, and I got it working. He's like, oh my god, that's amazing. He was kind of in shock. But again, we'll go more into that when I play Knuckles Chaotix next month, which I am definitely looking forward to. Definitely a different kind of Sonic game, one where Sonic really isn't a part, but it does play like Sonic, and like some other stuff too. We'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, okay, fine, I gotta stop talking. I gotta buckle down and get those 50 rings and not get hit before I get the rings. If I can just get up there and get that ring box. Or jump down the different paths. Alright. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Yeah, I think in this case, I should just take the low road. And not jump there. Although I wish I could go up and get that shield. Ouch! Oh. Alright, fine. One more death. Again, this is also why I have tons of lives. Wait, what's this? I'm just jumping into that and just bouncing back. Okay. Enough of this. We're guaranteed. This time we're getting special stage. You mentioned Pokemon Puzzle League. Yeah, I did. Which is one of the other Pokemon, or one of the other Tetris Attack-like games I could show off. Actually, I have most of the games that are Tetris Attack based. I think the only ones I don't have are the Nintendo Puzzle Collection one, the Game Boy one of Tetris Attack, and then the Game Boy Advance one, which is Dr. Mario Puzzle League. But yeah, I do have Puzzle League. Yeah, why you ask? have a nice story about it. Okay, do tell. I'm all ears about that. Again, like, because that's the other thing about this. I like to tell stories about gaming too, but I like to hear what you guys have to say. So yeah, fire away. It'll give me more time to also let me concentrate more on getting these 50 rings. I'm still watching the chat, so don't feel like you're distracting me at all. I've been distracting myself. With this invisibility, I think I should be able to get to the end no problem, hopefully. Finally. There we go. Now just to get this get this time stone. But if I screw up, at least I have one more shot. Okay, here we go. Barry Rent Games, I wanted to rent a game that was out for a while. Didn't have it, I was upset, almost crying. My mom dropped me off, went to Walmart, and bought it. Okay. So basically that idea of, oh, I can't have this game, and then your mother completely surprises you with, yeah, you have it now. So, yeah, those are definitely great kinds of stories, and I've actually been in situations like that as well. Even ones where I think she was kind of more in tune with the idea of, like, oh, yeah, I want to get stuff for you, even though knowing that I wanted them. Like, actually, one of them was, one that actually kind of reminds me was Shenmue 2. To the point where it was coming out initially on the Dreamcast in the US, and then she said, by the way, and she was the one who actually gave me the news about this idea. It's like, she said, hey, want to let you know, Shenmue 2 was canceled. It's like, what? I was like, yeah, I wanted to pre-order it for you to give it to you as a Christmas gift. I sadly don't have it anymore. Well, at least you do have the memory. Yeah, in my case, what happened was that my mom, she wanted to get it for me for a Christmas gift, but they canceled it because then they moved it to the Xbox. But then what happened was, I got one more shot, so I'm going to have to, completely set myself on to the next one. But yeah, as I was saying, she wanted to get it for me for a Christmas gift for Dreamcast. They canceled it, then they moved it to Xbox, and then the year after that, she was like, date. She was like, I was going to get this to you as a Christmas present, but it was like, I wasn't able to get this for you for Christmas last year. Here's Shenmue 2 now on Xbox. I was like, oh wow, so it was kind of a great situation to that. But yeah, those are definitely some good stories as well. And again, that's the other thing here's the thing, I mean, I don't know if I've actually necessarily been explicit as far as like what the point of these streams I do are. I mean, on one hand, I sometimes will show off skill on games that I really like, or showcase, again, just casual, play of it, but also just the idea of casual conversation and going back in memories of the history of gaming for me personally, but also for you guys watching. Because there are a lot of stories to tell, and I do love hearing those stories, hearing situations of games you've played that maybe I haven't, games I might have played that you haven't, games we might have both played, and just kind of that shared experience. And that's something I do miss, because, I mean, for obvious reasons, I haven't necessarily been seeing a lot of my friends or family recently who I do like playing games with. So that's kind of one of the reasons I started this, because I wanted to at least keep in contact with them for showing off games and keeping the conversation going. Still remember that to the very day, and that's what a lot of these stories do. They kind of just lock into your brain and they just don't go out, and they kind of become a part of the discussion for that game for you. And again, I love hearing that stuff. I love telling people that stuff, and getting the idea of what are people's experience with games, and sometimes that can also be an interesting situation of, again, if you played a game at one point in your life and others may have played it later or earlier, and like, where's that line up and what that perspective is. And that's the one thing I definitely will be looking forward to the most when I get to see more of my friends and family just kind of going into that. In particular, I like doing that. That's one of the things that my girlfriend and I like to do a lot. Me just showcasing all this weird stuff I have, and her putting up with it, but also her, showing me stuff that she'd never played. I mean, I think we did that with, in her case, like stuff like Final Fantasy IX. In my case, I was doing other weird things. I think we did that with Rocket Knight Adventures about a couple months ago. Alright, last shot to get Time Stone. I hope I don't screw it up, but if I do screw it up, I do have the visual mode unlocked, which I think I do. Hopefully my hitting new game did not screw that up. But if I do, well, I can show off the good ending that way. My mom used to spoil me, my brother should still do this day. Well, that's kind of the idea. I mean, especially with... Oh, okay, yeah, sorry I stopped there. I just was thinking, like, wait a second, where'd the audio go? It's like, the special stage was starting, where was the audio? The disc I have is in good condition, so I was thinking, wait a minute, what is happening here? But, yeah, that definitely is the case of that. And it's interesting, because my mom has even said that as well. She said, like, she was saying, like, sometimes, like, I don't know what to buy you anymore, but that's the idea of, like, just these kind of little surprise things as far as that. So, I get that as well. So we're halfway done. More than halfway now. Come on, alright, we're gonna do this. I'm feeling good. One more. Now it's spoiling my brother's kids. There you go. And so the chain continues. And again, you give them that experience that you have growing up. Say, I played this game when I was growing up. Now introducing it to a new generation. Then playing stuff that's new and you getting into that as well. In fact, I remember doing that actually with one of my cousins. He was getting married. And I remember he came and visited me in the early 90s. We played Sonic 2 pretty extensively, to the point where we actually paused the game at Metropolis Zone because it was late in the night, we had to go to sleep. And we were going to play, we wanted to finish that game, but we weren't going to restart it, so we kept it that way. And when he was getting married, one of my other cousins, they have children, and they was like, what are you playing? I'm playing a game myself. And I was like, I'm playing Sonic 2. And I was like, your uncle? Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, your uncle and I played this game. Especially my nephew's named after me. Well, there you go. Yeah, in my case, again, I was like, yeah, I'm playing this game on my phone that we played in 1992 together. No! Okay, come on. I don't want to screw this up. 5, 4... Got it. Alright, good. The dream lives on for a little while longer. One more. I could make that jump. I didn't want to make it. Yeah, I'm getting nervous now. I don't want to screw this up. Come on. Thankfully, the blue UFO moves slow enough that it's not really a problem. You know what? Yeah, one more. I'm almost there. Yeah, I'm just waiting till it's 20 at that point. So, like, okay, there he is. We're gonna get this one. And again, thankfully, it moves slowly enough so I can just jump and get it. All right. Yeah, this is why I get nervous, and also because this is the last chance I have to get it, because you can't get... Yeah, unfortunately, you can't get special stages in Metallic Madness Zone. So I don't get it now, we're done. I'm gonna try. Ew! That was close. Oh my god, that was scared there. I thought, oh no, I ran out of time. Alright, come on. Yeah! Got it! Oh man, I got it. It felt so good. Whew, alright. Sorry for hurting your ears out there, but there we go. That was good. That was clutch, as the kids say. got them all, and now we are set for the best ending. Whew. There we go. Thank you again for your support, chat. I appreciate it. And with that, we get the Good Future for Stardust Speedway. And actually, I'm going to differ. I like the Good Future music a little more than I like the Bad Future music. I'm going to let this play for a minute. I'm also going to get these frames. Get this nice starry sky with like the purple layout of the levels, the city in the background, the life and speed shoes. I can't get there. Go ahead, yeah. I'll be here. But wow. That's good. You know, I'm gonna sit here and let it play for a second. You have a swig of my drink, or my water. Alright, there we go. Actually, here's the thing. I don't want to stand still too long, because, funny story, if you stand idle for 3 minutes in this game, Sonic will come up, there will be a voice, and he'll say, "I'm out of here!" And you get a game over, instantly, even if I have these 6 lives. So, let's do this. Alright, Metal Sonic, we're doing the race. And if you're watching and you've never seen this race, just to let you know, you want to keep ahead of Metal Sonic at all times, and don't fall too far behind, because Robotnik has an instant kill laser that he's chasing behind us with. Oh, and you also want to avoid him doing that dash thing. And got him. Oh, I got a life for it, okay. So even Sonic's excited about it, alright. Perfectly timed. Alright, so here's Amy Rose. She's tied up. Actually, let me just see something. I just want to see about how the screen scrolling works. Not that... Okay, alright, you have to double tap up or double tap down in this game. Because usually the other ones you just hold it and it goes up. But there she is. She's struggling. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, I just noticed. Because this is the same animation she has when she's caught by Metal Sonic. But it looks like... Is that Metal Sonic's hands still placed on her chest like that? Detached from him? I don't know. Let's bust her out, though. Oh, no, guess not. But by the way, the level will not end until she catches me and is very happy with me, but hold on, I'll let... Oh! Okay, I never had that before. I'm teetering on the edge of that block. She's grabbing me, I'm just like, yeah, I'm holding on. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna fall off. You're usually just waiting to be released. Alright, final zone of the game is Metallic Madness, and thankfully I have all the time stones, so we're guaranteed the good ending, and we're also guaranteed a good future in every stage. When you get all the time stones, anytime you go to the future, for any stage going forward, it's always going to be a good future. Always. That being said, you can still find the robot-making machines, and this stage, they're the hardest to find. I might try and see if I can't find a couple of them anyway. But right now, there's honestly not going to be too much of a point. And we talked about levels where you're just crashing into stuff and getting hurt. Yeah, this is kind of the parade for that. Ow, hit the wall. Oh, whoa. Okay, I've never had that happen before. I didn't know you could get crushed by those teeter-totter things. I've never seen that before. Okay. Again, that's the benefit of doing a... Wait a second, why isn't it holding on to anything? Okay, never saw... Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it can't be too quick, otherwise you get crushed. I'm going through lives like crazy. I gotta be careful, otherwise I'll get a game over. Although, as I mentioned when I first started playing this game is a save system. So, even if I get a game over, it doesn't matter, because I'm just going to be able to continue right away anyway. I mean, technically, this game has unlimited continues, which would mean that... I think it's one of the only Sonic games to do that. I'm trying to think. What are the... I'm trying to think of other Sonic games that have an infinite well, yeah, chat, you mentioned Sonic the Fighters. That does. I mean, that's an arcade game. It's still the same idea. And, oh, and Mean Bean Machine. Alright, so, yeah, you mentioned two of them to do, so, thank you. I definitely will get on to playing those. Ah. That might be my March selection. Or, both of those might be my March selection. I think I might want to do that. So, again, chat, particularly Electverse, I appreciate your suggestion, and I will make that happen. At some point. Alright. Definitely getting a lot of Scrap Brain vibes out of this stage. Oh, and there's the Robot Maker. Right, but that's one of those you have to kind of go in a very zigzaggy pattern in order to find it. I remember, in fact, in the case of the 360 version, I was going for the achievements, because most of the achievements are pretty easy to get. That one I needed to figure out, like, where am I going? So I did have to take a lot of time to explore. Actually, I don't think you can get into that at all from the present, now that I remember. I think you need to be in the past in order to get it. Actually, no, I'm going to see what's up here as well. Again, I'm in a good situation now that I got that final time stone, so we're all set. So I'm just going to, like, do some exploring. Unfortunately, just like the old Sonic games, you do have a 10-minute time limit, so... Oh, okay, so it's not much of anything anymore. Alright. Okay, Metallic Madness Act 2. It's definitely been one of the more unorthodox playthroughs of Sonic CD I've ever done. If only because of the clutch way of getting the time stone at the last minute. Initially me going after all the robot makers and then stopping from getting them or missing one, and then now just kind of just going all over the place. Alright, now this zone, though, or this act I should say, does add a couple of different things to it. The tubes, which, if you ever played any of the Sonic games on the Game Gear, which, again, I'll be doing some of the Game Gear stuff this year as well, you'll probably be familiar with these, but, okay, no, I was going to say this is the first game to have the tubes in them, but I'm wrong. There were Game Gear games that had it before, particularly Sonic 2 for the Game Gear, and I think Sonic Chaos either came out either right before this or right alongside this. I think it was right alongside this, if I remember correctly. In fact, even like the logos on the boxes are kind of similar. As far as you have like the Sonic wording and then that word, the Hedgehog, really tiny in the little letters, and then the word, in the case of that one, Chaos, in the case of this one, the CD. And again, I am looking at, then again, that might have been for like a lot of the magazine ads, because I'm looking at the box copy of this game complete that I have, and it doesn't have that. Alright. Also, this is one of the longest... Actually, no, it is the longest level in the game. Because you have to kind of zigzag all over the place in order to get to the end. All I can say is good luck getting the time attack time for this one, or doing a time attack time that's good for this. That being said, you also get these stepper things, which I remember seeing in Sonic Mania, which will then crush enemies. That was much to my delight when you hit that and it crushes the Rexons. And you get an achievement for it. Ooh, but yeah, I don't like seeing those things. The bombs from Starlight from Sonic 1. And they're big guys in this one. And now I'm small. Yeah, small Sonic. This is where he came from. Definitely kind of became a bit of a meme years later, but here he is in all his glory. And it's interesting also seeing how they just how they changed, or how they adjusted that in the 2011 re-release when they added Tails into that. It's like, yeah, you have Tails, you have tiny Tails going on, which is a neat situation too. Alright. Also, the interesting situation is like when you jump on the springs, yeah, Sonic's just standing there with his feet not moving, which is kind of an interesting situation. Yeah, but that spring jump, that's always a weird one. You either have to hold right to make it, or hit that yellow spring just right to bounce onto the other side. Alright, now I want to be careful here, and I always run into this trouble. I'm going too fast, usually, with Sonic, because I like going fast. You get crushed by this thing. So I want to be at least a little careful when doing that. And sort of the same here, but not as much. Let me see, is there anything else out here? Speeches. Ew. I don't have rings, so I gotta be careful. Oh, it took me back here again. Alright. Hey, what's up? Yeah, well, while you're away, again, again, here's the thing. I was gonna sit around and wait, but then I remembered that, yeah, if you sit around and wait for 3 minutes, Sonic will yell, "I'm out of here!" And it's an instant game over. Which is an interesting touch, but it's also like, yeah, I guess I could completely wait, but it's like, what happened before is like, okay, fine. Metal Sonic's kaput, and now I gotta get to the end of Metallic Madness. And he came back just in time for Tiny Sonic, and now he's gone. But, we got another thing that's a little weird coming up. And that is, I think it's coming up. Yeah, oh, right here, these things. These spike platform things, which drop down. They drop down really slowly, so unless you're very specific with your platforming, you can't really choose your way through. In Sonic Mania, they changed that, so actually they come down a lot faster, and they also give you a little bit of a warning when they come down. So yeah, you see a little outline on the top of the screen. But that is the last normal stage. So we made the good future in Zone 2 and in the whole game, and when we defeat Robotnik in Act 3 coming up next, we will have saved Little Planet completely. At least until Sonic 4 Episode 2 and Sonic Mania. But we'll deal with those when we get to those. Actually, those might be ones to do. Well, I want to do Sonic Mania at least. 4 Episode 2 I could do. Actually, if I do 4 Episode 2, I probably want to do 4 Episode 1 along with it, because they do kind of go together. Even though, unfortunately, that one left on a massive cliffhanger that never got resolved, and sadly, I don't think ever will. Definitely get the nicer look at Metallic Madness, though, in this stage. I'm just a little nervous. I'm stopping here because I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on here, because down here is, I think, the only bottomless pit that's in this game. Oh. Yeah, and trying to get on there is, yeah, weird. Yeah, because of that. Here's the weird thing: you can kind of stand on the edge of that while that's down. So if it's up like that, that makes it harder to get to. That being said, I showed the top way. I'll show the bottom way. Yeah, these things again. Again, unless you're very specific with your jumps, you're not going to be able to get through this without at least 2 or 3 of these. They just kind of appear out of nowhere, too. Alright. Yeah, these spinning things. I always get screwed up by these. Oh no, no, no! Oh, there we go. That was close. Okay. Right, there's shield. Actually, yeah, there's something I didn't show off. I don't know if... I don't want to lose my shield, but I think I might have already gotten a situation where I'm going to lose it. Okay, no, I guess not. Alright, yeah, that's something I didn't show off in this stage yet, which are those spinny platforms. They are in Act 1 and 2, but I didn't go the way that they show. In this case, you have to go behind the scenery in order to get that spike rocket thing, whatever it is, to come out of the way. Metallic Madness, Metal Madness, Sonic CDs. Oh, yes, this crafty bastard. Indeed. And, yeah, that's another thing, because I do kind of want to look at Sonic Heroes as well. And that's true. With Sonic Heroes, they did want to go back to Sonic CD, including the fact that, you know, Metal Sonic is in. Also, another touch as well. If you're familiar with the Archie comics, Metal Madness was the arc in issues 39 and technically 40, and they also made a special comic of it where Sonic says, hey, we want to get into Robotnik's lair and, take him down with, like, a special roboticized chip, but they said, no, it didn't go well when Sally tried that, and then Sonic is kidnapped by Knack the Weasel from Sonic Triple Trouble, and then he's roboticized, and then when he comes to, they get him out of it. They put him on trial, and are basically going to charge him with treason, which is kind of an interesting situation. And that was from the comic as well, so, like, maybe they had a concept of the comic as well as this game. Here we are, final Robotnik form. Definitely a different take than some of the other final bosses. Where it just does this little thing, you just kind of stand in line to that, and hit him there. Or take a hit. Honestly, this is probably one of the easiest ones to do that with, as long as you have brains. But you gotta wait until he turns right in order to jump on him. And make sure you don't lose rings. But he only takes 4 hits. So this shouldn't take much time. At the second one, or the 2 left, he drops those down. And he tries the helicopter approach, and gets me. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be clutch again, because I have no rings. Although, honestly, this is kind of easy, as long as you avoid that. And then also when he gets his pogo spring on. Or as I thought of Dr. Zoidberg from Futurama when he gets his Christmas gift of a pogo stick. Oh, crap. Yeah, jumped too late. So unfortunately the pogo stick got me, but again, I got lives. We're gonna be fine. It gives us more time to enjoy the nice scenery and the nice music. And again, just kind of relax a bit, talking about Sonic, talking about games, talking about history about games. And again, that's what I'm all about. Every Saturday night, 7 p.m., you'll find me here. We'll play something. Again, Sonic Game a month is what we're doing. So next week is not going to be Sonic Game, but the classic gaming is still going to continue next week. Next week I want to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, which I own on the 360. I'm doing that because next week is the release of the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Complete Edition. Finally, that game is coming back from the dead. It was thought lost to time forever because it was a download-only game. Nope, it's coming out again this week, and they are doing a physical release for Switch, so I am going to be pre-ordering that next week for Limited Run. I am looking forward to getting it. Although I'm going to have to wait a little longer for a physical, but again, I'll take it. Because then that thing's never getting lost to time again. I guess technically, as far as this game, the way to make sure it's not getting lost to time is either get the HD version, or get it on Sega CD or GameCube, or the PC CD release. But again, probably GameCube's probably the easiest if you're going for a physical. Whereas the Sega CD version is still like 50, 60 complete. It's gone up in the years. I mean, I got this for, I think, 13 years ago, but that's unfortunately a reality that's happening. You run into situations where a lot of games are just jumping in price. I mean, I realized that last year when I realized, hey, stuff on the GameCube is ridiculously expensive. I mean, we're just talking like Sega Saturn numbers for some of the stuff on that. I mean, Mario Sunshine is like $70. I'm thinking, how is that possible? That game sold a ton when it came out, but apparently it's got expensive. And Sonic CD is the same thing. I mean, people want these games, even in the original version. And again, for Sega CD, if you have a Sega CD, you want to have this for sure. Alright, we're going to get him this time. So bounce he goes, and down he goes. And with that, we have the good ending guaranteed. Place exploding, there's Amy. And we're going to get out with a nice anime cutscene. Well, nice as far as the Sega CD is concerned, but again, this was something Sega CD wanted to show off. And it does look pretty nice, even though it doesn't take up all the screen. But it doesn't look as, pixelated as some other games go up, like Night Trap or like Ground Zero Texas, or I'm trying to think of some other ones that really looked really weird. Actually, a lot of the digital picture stuff. There we go, because we got the good ending. We freed Little Planet. There is no circumstance we can't handle if we use our mind. Indeed. And for the good ending, here we go. Feasibly, I could show off the bad ending as well. I'll see if I can do that. But by getting the good ending, get the Sonic silhouette, Little Planet, which comes down to Mobius or South Island every year, or every couple of years, however it is, goes back into space. We're good. Sonic looks at the stars, and cool 90s pose.
Save the planet from disaster.
So indeed, that is Sonic CD for the Sega CD, released in 1993, and yeah, it still holds up nicely. I mean, there are better releases of it, I would say. You mentioned PC, GameCube, and then also the 2011 version, especially that one. If I can't get through to you guys watching this enough, if you don't have Sonic CD, get that HD, that 2011 version. Whether it's for your phone, whether it's for your 360, your PC, your PS3, whatever it is, get it. It's fantastic. And it adds so much extra content. Even if you have the Sega CD version like me, it's still worth having. Or have it on the Sonic Gems collection. There's enough there to make it worthwhile, and the game is great. Definitely was an early take on Sonic. Early take as far as, it's showing CD technology, the first, as far as I'm aware. But, yeah, it definitely is a unique and beloved title for a reason. Definitely need to replay this. Yeah, I would definitely agree with this. It is a good game to do that. And, in fact, I actually did recently do that with the 360 release. Again, because I was playing that on my Xbox One, because it's backwards compatible that way. And it's backwards compatible with the Series S and X if you happen to be lucky enough to get one of those. And PS3 or PS4 with the PlayStation Now, and I guess PS5. But again, I don't know how that works, so I don't know. Don't quote me on how that is going to operate. But again, however you play this, or if you track down a Sega CD copy, absolutely do it. It's definitely a good time, and that great music for each version. Yeah, in this case, here we go. Spencer Nielsen and David Young did the music for the U.S. release. Of course, Sandy Cressman, Jenny Meltzer, and Becky West, wherever you are. I don't know if you're watching this. You're probably not, but I tip my hat to you, my invisible hat with my fingers in the air, to you for giving us these great vocals and this great music. Of course, Naofumi Hadia, who of course did the music for the Japanese version. So again, we can't, keep him off. Or Takanobu Mitsuyoshi, who also did the music for the Japanese release, who would go on to do other Sega games later, particularly like Daytona USA. It definitely gives, as I said, that audio, I keep going back to that, but it gives this game a neat identity, as does its other aspects of time travel and some of the other aspects. In that way, it definitely did its job as far as kind of taking what we loved on Genesis and then giving it a little bit of a new spin and made it worth, experiencing. And by getting the good ending, we're too cool and the flowers are going to grow. And assuming I could show off the, if I still have the visual mode unlocked, I think I should. I don't think it erases it when I start a new game, which I don't think it does. I will show off the bad ending as well, just for completion's sake. Actually, I'll also show the pencil mode off, assuming I can do that. So let's see. It's presented by Sega. There we go. Let's take a look. Okay, so yeah, it does hold everything I had, which is DA Garden. Actually, you know what? Just for a little extra, let's show off some of the other stuff this game has very briefly, just to give you a sense. The time attack mode. When you complete the game, or complete stages in the game, you play all the levels in time attack to get the highest or the slowest time you can. Also, all the special stages. And if you get your total time to at least, or under, I think it's 23 minutes, you unlock the DA. Well, you unlock the DA Garden and you unlock the visual mode. I will show off the visual mode and the DA Garden before we call it quits for tonight. All right, let's take a look at the DA Garden. The DA Garden is basically a sound test. And actually, okay, Tails is technically in this version of the game. Flying is playing. Using the D-pad, you can move Little Planet around. Again, and if you played, and Chad, you mentioned you played this on GameCube, the loading screen that's exclusive to that version, or exclusive to that and the PC released in the 90s, has the picture of Little Planet like this. But here it is spinning. We can move it around with D-pad. Hit A to get the flickies going. And listen to any music in the game you want, whether it's the good future, the bad future. Well, actually, hold on. Can you listen to the past versions? Let me look at this. Because I'm only seeing G and B mix. And let's play these briefly just to show this off. Okay, that's the good future of Stardust Speedway. That's the present, I know that. That's the bad future, and I do like how with that you get the appropriate graphics. There's Metallic Madness. Let's see. Final Fever, Little Planet, Game Over, Zone Clear, The Boss, Invincibility, Speed Up, Title Screen, Special Stage, Opening, Ending. Yeah, it doesn't have the past music, which is very strange. So, okay, if you want to listen to the past music, yeah, you can't do it in this mode, okay? I'm kind of surprised by that. I did not remember that was a factor. All right, two last things, I guess, which will be looking at the visual mode, which is the last thing you unlock, which lets you see all of the cinematics for this game. The opening, you know what? I don't know if everybody who's watching this was here for the opening. Let's watch the opening again, because it's really great. You get to hear Sonic Boom again.
If you're strong, you can fly. You can reach the other side of the rainbow. It's alright, take a chance, 'cause there is no circumstance that you can't handle. When you use your mind, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom.
Yeah, I'm seeing your chat. I just was being a little quiet because I was like, I kind of want to pay respect to this song, but like now I'm not. It's like it's so good. I mean, I love the Japanese track too. You can do anything, and the Japanese ending track. What's that called? Electric Carnival. What's it called? Electric Connection, I think it was.
It's a supersonic flight.
God, Sonic Boom is so good. I mean, let's put it this way. I remember when the 2011 release came out, I was telling somebody about this, like, oh, they're releasing this new version, it has all these things. The first question he asked me, he said, does this have Sonic Boom in it? The answer was, yes, it does. Like, I absolutely have to buy this. That's all he wanted to know. He didn't want to know about Tails. He didn't want to know about the better physics and, engine and all that. Or both of the soundtracks being there. It's like, is Sonic Boom in this game? The answer is yes, it absolutely is. But of course, that's one of the reasons I can't be mad ever about saying, like, some people might like the Japanese music better. I'm never going to say anything bad about the American music because it's good, number one. Their tracks I like better than the Japanese version, and we got Sonic Boom out of the deal. Okay, so let's watch two more videos. We're going to watch the Pencil Test. Oh, Cosmic Eternity, thank you. Thank you. All right, I didn't remember what the name of it was. Cosmic Eternity, Believe Yourself. Thank you very much, Chad. I appreciate that. I don't know why I was thinking, like, Electric Connection. I was thinking, maybe I was thinking, like, a mixture of the Rainbow... I was thinking, like, the mixture of the Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie and then Electric Ladyland, the Jimi Hendrix Experience album. But this is the Pencil Test. This shows, I guess, the animation that they were doing, which was done actually by... I mean, this was shown in the credits. I didn't point this out. It was done by Toei Animation, actually. So, yeah, pretty big animation house, or anime house from Japan, did this animation for this game, which was an interesting situation. And you also see some aspects that I guess didn't make it as far as some of the animations to this. And some that sort of did. That was it. Electric Communications from Mega Man 8. Thank you. I was like, I knew I wasn't going crazy. I was like, there's something else to that. Yeah, that was what it was. Mega Man 8. That's one I probably should do. Because actually, I haven't done many classic Mega Man games except for 7. And last week I did X2, so... Alright, so one last thing we're going to show off then is... Okay, we got the good ending. We saved Little Planet. We're all good. But insert... I don't have a technology to do this, but if you ever saw the movie Clue from the 80s, insert the, that's how it could have happened, but this is what really happened. Okay, fine. What really happened is what we saw before. This is how it could have happened. If I had not gotten that special stage beaten at the last minute, which I am very happy that happened. That would have been a massive embarrassment for me. Like, yeah, I talked myself up as a Sonic fan. I was like, I played this game enough, and I can't get the good ending. But let's assume we didn't get the good ending. Let's assume that bad scenario happened. Well, here's the bad ending, which is mostly the same, except for two parts. One is right here. There's Robotnik getting away with the one time stone I would have missed, potentially, in that alternate scenario. But Sonic isn't having any of that shit, so he's gonna get away, unfortunately, with that time stone, but man, does Sonic have one hell of a rock throw. Boom. There you go. So he's gone, but unfortunately he's set to take Little Planet over another day. Although, I guess technically for the good ending, he'll take it over again for Sonic 4 Episode 2 and for Sonic Mania. And I guess to an extent Sonic Forces, because Sonic Forces connects to Mania's story. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting situation, and I've had a lot of fun doing this tonight. This has definitely been one that I was looking forward to doing. I was like, okay, for the 30th anniversary of Sonic, I want to do something special. I noticed, this was the year of it, so what are we going to do? I was like, I want to do streaming at least one Sonic game a month, and that's what I'm going to do. Again, every Saturday night at 7 p.m., I will be here, and I will be playing whatever I got. Again, next week we're going to be doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1989 for the Xbox 360, or at least the version that was on the Xbox 360. It's an arcade game, but we'll be playing that. But the next time we come back to the Sonic universe, which will be next month, I will be playing Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. It's fun to watch. I'm glad you enjoyed it, because I'm not necessarily... I understand there are a lot of channels, a lot of streams, a lot of things that anybody could be watching, especially on a Saturday night. The only goal I have is just to create a nice, relaxing situation where I'm showing you a game that I'm interested in or that people ask me to play, and I will definitely take your suggestions into account. I definitely will play Sonic Fighters. I will definitely play Mean Bean Machine for this as I go through this year, no question. In fact, I think I'll make that my March choices. I will do both of those. Gain a new follower. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Again, and I hope, Game Done Quick is going on. That's another thing. Hey, how you doing? Proturova. I gotta pronounce that right. I'm sorry. I know you've been a follower of mine from the start, and I thank you for that. And I thank you for, sticking with me for that. And I appreciate you, Electverse, and everybody else watching for watching. I do appreciate that, and I've had a good time just relaxing that. I have to help a fellow Hive member. Okay, well, thank you. Again, I appreciate that. And again, I'll be here every Saturday night at 7. Yeah, I think so. I get the idea of how this is, but again, as far as, watching stuff, but again, it's as long as I can give you a good show, as long as we have some laughs, we share some memories, there's a lot of things going on that we have a good time with, that's all I want. And as long as you're entertained, I'm entertained. So, again, I appreciate your support, I appreciate you watching, and again, next week I will be back with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and next month we will be doing Knuckles Chaotix, and in March we will do Sonic the Fighters and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And again, it's definitely a nice niche, because again, you could watch a lot of things on Twitch, you can watch a lot of things on the internet, especially on a Saturday night. And okay, here's what the bad ending looks like, by the way. We have to try again because, there's Little Planet again, and it's stuck to a ball and chain. But that would be our bad ending, but we didn't get the bad ending. Thankfully, I'm very happy. And again, I think your support might have made that happen. Might have kept me in a good enough mood. Maybe a good enough mood for me to screw up, but that's my own fault because, again, I was having such a good time, and I would not trade it for the world. So I think with that, I'm going to sign off for Super Old Game Saturday, or Super Sonic Game Saturday as it is. So next week is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade. Next month will be Knuckles Chaotix. The month after that will be Sonic the Fighters and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And again, since I have to use the 360 anyway for the purpose of Sonic the Fighters, I will show off both versions of Mean Bean Machine at the same time through Sonic Mega Collection Plus. So again, it'll be like a little bit of a spin-off situation, and it'll probably fill out about 2 hours worth of time like this game did. So at the very least, yeah, we'll do that in March. Next month, Knuckles Chaotix. Next week, it will be Turtles, as I mentioned. And again, any other games you want to see me play, any ones you have memories with, maybe ones I haven't played. I'll play stuff blind for you as well. If that gives you entertainment, or stuff like, hey, I love this game, I want to see it shown because I don't think it's being represented, go ahead. Again, just tell me, and we'll be all set. So I think with that, we're going to let Sonic Boom take us out one more time. And I think with that, I will, again, we'll let the cutscene end. Just love Sonic Boom so much. I definitely had a good time playing this game tonight with you. And again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful weekend, a wonderful coming week. And again, next Saturday, I will be here with Turtles. And again, going forward, whatever else you want. But again, we'll let Sonic Boom take us out. And when we're done with that, let's let it go. Take us home.
To the light, it's a supersonic flight, gotta keep it going. Sonic boom, sonic boom, sonic boom. Trouble keeps you running fast. Sonic boom, sonic boom, save the planet from disaster. Sonic boom, sonic boom, spinning through the world in motion. Sonic boom, sonic boom.
All I gotta say to that is, mwah, beautiful.